What's going on, everyone? I am just a typical, average American here today to react to some statements that the Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, made recently about the United States. And apparently, some of these questions about Trump were actually making him like chuckle a bit, or like we finally reached the point in all of this madness that the leader of Canada is laughing at us, or perhaps he's laughing at the absurdity of Donald Trump or the absurdity of this whole situation between our two countries. I don't know, but today I really want to check this out and see what happened. So let's take a look.
All these governments would do whatever it takes to defend and support our families, our business, etc. And I'd like to hear some, after 3 hours of meeting, some specifics. Counter tariffs are a possibility, and so on. If you could provide some specifics. And then two, let's
What's that? What's so why he's like cracking a smile. Like why is he it feels like he's holding back laughter. What I don't even know what the reporter said that was so funny right then. Like what was that about? like like I would understand if the person asking a question was like, "Do you think Donald Trump would make a good ringmaster, like a good addition to a circus, or like if he should take care of the elephants or something, you know? Like that would be kind of funny." But this is like they're asking about specifics of like the trade situation. Why is Mark Carney about to laugh here?
counter tariffs are a possibility, and so on. If you could provide some specifics. And then two, let's say
What? Seriously, what's up with that? Is he okay? They're just asking about like counter tariffs. That's pretty serious. What? It's finally happened. It's finally, it's that I'm surprised it didn't happen earlier. Mark Carney has finally been driven insane by Donald Trump in the US. It's okay. I think it's happened to all of us to some extent, but I'm sure there's some reason for this.
counter tariffs are a possibility, and so on. If you could provide some specifics. And then two, let's say you get this deal, CUSMA 2 with the President of the United States. You're going to have to convince a lot of Canadians skeptical of the trustworthiness of the president that no, this time he means it. He'll keep his word this time on CUSMA 2. How will you explain?
What's he doing? What? That's funny, but it's like I've seen a fair bit of like Mark Carney clips at this point. He's pretty professional, pretty serious guy. He can be like lighthearted about some things, but he really thinks it's funny when the reporter said the reporter is basically asking like, should we trust Donald Trump? Should Canada trust Donald Trump in any trade deal that he, signs? And that's making Mark Carney like laugh at the very thought of that. Like it's which depending on how you think about it, maybe not the most appropriate response, but maybe a reasonable one. Even as an American, like just given all the things that have happened, all the promises Donald Trump has broken, Donald Trump violated the current CUSMA agreement, right, with Canada just by, creating these tariffs on Canada right now. That's a violation of trust. And so I do understand why if someone asked, like, hey, do you trust Donald Trump to keep his word against your country for the good of your people? If that might make someone like almost want to laugh and be like, Psh, ha, no. So I do understand the sentiment, but it's just funny. Like you don't normally see, especially Mark Carney, like actually. And again, he's not like on the floor busting a gut, like laughing, right? But he's like, like he's like smiling. Like it's pretty obvious.
Deal, CUSMA 2 with the President of the United States, you're going to have to convince a lot of Canadians skeptical of the trustworthiness of the president that no, this time he means it. He'll keep his word this time on CUSMA 2. How will you explain that the president can be trusted when he signs a document with your name on it?
He is smiling. He's literally smiling at this question a lot, like he was gonna laugh. What the heck? I want to hear what he has to say.
Thank you.
That was a laugh. That was a chuckle. It's true. It's literally true. The very thought of trusting Donald Trump makes the Canadian Prime Minister laugh. Which kind of which makes me laugh because it's like I I don't dislike it. It's honest. It's his genuine reaction. It's honest. It's like, and at this point, who can blame him? So, sure, why not? I wonder if Donald Trump is going to see this because he pays attention to a lot of little stuff like this and takes, because he just loves getting mad. He loves being triggered. And can't stand an ounce of disrespect, even though all he does is dish out disrespect. He can't take it. So I wonder if, like, this little chuckle could have cost Canada new 700% tariffs on milk or something. So I don't know. I don't know if it was worth it. I think it was worth it, actually.
Name on it. Thank you.
Well, first, in terms of doing whatever it takes, there's multiple aspects of that. First, and I won't repeat the whole element of, but it's building the economy and support. Like that's fundamental. It's diversifying our trade relations. It's all that. Secondly, it is helping those sectors that are affected directly by the tariffs with financial support, supporting their workers, reorienting demand for some of their products where that's possible, providing some level of trade protection.
This is interesting, actually, like seeing Canada's point of view. Like, if these tariffs are enacted, I think, like in the next month, like just hearing about what Canada has, all this stuff you have to do, like to try to help your businesses and workers who are affected by the U.S. tariffs, and that Canada is already preparing all this support, which is great. It's horrible to hear that the United States is causing all of this pain. Canada now has to respond to something he's not brought up right here. Is it's a lot of like, oh, we'll deal with it, deal with it, deal with it like this and that. Not like how Canada might respond. Like if there's going to be a retaliation. I know the reporter mentioned counter tariffs, or is that a thing?
If necessary, remissions, other aspects. So there's a variety of things, and we're working through that. We've been doing this and supporting literally tens of thousands of jobs in the trade in the 232 sectors, the strategic sectors, steel, aluminum, automobiles, and others, and we'll continue to do that with other sectors that are affected.
Also, just a quick note: he quickly, quieted that impulse to laugh. That was a brief, like, something broke through Carney's like psyche there, where he just could not contain the smile and the laugh, and now it is gone, and it's professional business, all business. Carney has taken over once again, but it is amusing to see, like, he is kind of like you and me, where I think, like a lot of people, when he thinks of the absurdity of Donald Trump and all the stuff he's doing to Canada, even when the Prime Minister of Canada thinks about it, deep inside, he's like, what a madman. What a crazy, Like, this is ridiculous. This is absurd. Almost makes you laugh at how crazy that this is real life. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. I have to deal with him. Ha! Like, if it doesn't make you cry, maybe it makes you laugh. I don't know, but it just shows Mark Carney actually thinks about it like that, even though he is extremely professional 99.9% of the time, and he's also extremely diplomatic. Mark Carney is usually goes out of his way to be extremely understanding and empathetic towards Trump, very diplomatic. Maybe like one of the best at that I've seen for the sake of getting along. So, for him to like crack a smile here is funny that that's like when he broke.
The third is responding. If these tariffs or other measures come into force, and there's a full range of things that we can do in that regard. We don't need to respond in advance. In fact, I think it would be counterproductive at this stage to respond in advance. But it's important to know what your options are, to have worked it through, to have shared as it affects certain provinces or they have perspectives directly and be united in that response. And I would say, and premiers obviously speak for themselves, we are united in direction and objective and purpose.
Wow. Um that's an interesting response and very interesting for me because this directly affects the United States. Not that all we do in the US anymore is try to affect Canada, and Trump try to affect it in a negative way. And I don't think a lot of Americans are really considering the possibility that Canada could do a lot of things to affect the US negatively. You have just chosen to have restraint. Perhaps a philosophy that two wrongs won't make a right, that that's not the Canadian way of doing things, but I'm starting to hear this more and more where Mark Carney and the Canadian government are talking about retaliation against the US for things like these new tariffs. We're a year and a half later from Trump's second term starting, and there's still new tariffs on Canada. Who would have thought that over a year later? So this approach of like being the nice guy, uh, Canada, although Canada, to be fair, the people of Canada, like the citizens, are boycotting boycotting our American goods, not traveling to the U.S. at all, unprecedented travel boycott. The people of Canada are making their feelings very known and doing a lot of damage to the U.S. And now the government of Canada is starting to be like, yeah, we're not going to preemptively do anything, but when those tariffs go into effect, Canada, we're starting to weigh our options of what we might do to the U.S., whether that's counter tariffs or um, I did a video recently learning that Canada actually supplies a lot of U.S. energy, like our oil and our electricity, and Canada could just decide not to do that, that they don't want to sell it to us, they don't want us as a customer, that they want to raise the prices. Canada, like, we should not be testing Canada like this, not just because that's a horrible thing to do to your friend and ally, but also because it's a horrible thing to do to somebody who has a lot of influence over you and your well being. Like, I don't think Americans really understand how much we rely on Canada for a lot of this energy stuff. I know other things as well. I know some automotive things, but like, it's kind of surprising how bold Donald Trump has been and how lucky he has been that Canada hasn't done worse back to us. Because God knows, like, for anything that Canada relies on the US for, we exploit it. So Canada is well within your right to exploit the fact that we rely on your energy, whatever that may look like. Obviously, the Canadian government, Mark Carney, is literally He's literally saying the Canadian government is considering that. So this is getting extremely serious, which is kind of at odds with this video being kind of funny. Kind of funny. At least Mark Carney's reaction was funny. And then it was all business. So, yeah, there were a couple things that were extremely interesting to me here. Um, Frankly, this is not a laughing matter, but another part of me kind of enjoyed seeing Mark Carney's reaction like that. Like, yeah, this is crazy and absurd. Yeah, and he knows it. So, yeah, this this was interesting. I enjoyed this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts, especially if you're Canadian and you have thoughts about this whole situation and what Mark Carney is saying and what Donald Trump is doing. And that'd be really cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canadian things from my American perspective, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.